Abdurrahman. You can call me hashtag mindset man. Really excited to be on this live with you guys. I'm telling you, it's nearly 12 a.m. UK time. And those of you that are actually based in the UK, you guys would understand what I'm talking about when I say it's 12 a.m. because it's quite late and early morning tomorrow. But hey, hope you guys are all well. Here we have Instagram live, okay, taking place, as well as here we have Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And of course, here also recording is the Mindset Muhammad podcast. So a lot of you guys are going to be watching this on live. Some of you guys are, some of you guys are going to be playing this on replay, and some of you probably will might even come across this information literally a year from now, to 2 to 5 even years from now, right? So if you don't know me, I'm Muhammad Abdurrahman here, and I'm a young student. I'm a university student, and I've been an entrepreneur working, on myself and helping, educating, empowering, and of course enriching many. Okay, over the last few years, I've been very fortunate to have mentors in my life, people that have impacted my life in a positive way, and I made it one of my life goals to actually go and really spread, some of the things that I was taught myself, and I'm so grateful to be in vehicle where I can literally do just that. So if you haven't heard of me before, welcome, nice to meet you. I'm really excited for you to actually be on this live with me, and of course, those of you that are going to be listening on the Mindset Muhammad podcast, really appreciate your patronage, and of course, all your support and commitment, and of course, contributions to the ecosystem. Now, in this live, I want to add as much value, as possible to you guys. So, in fact, I want to ask you guys for a minute, what is the 10,000 hours rule? You know what that is? If you know what that is, can you just type in the chat yes or no? And if you don't, can you just please type in no, I don't? Okay. And trust me, I do read the comments. Yes, you're probably thinking, of course, I can see the Instagram live here, but of course, Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, I won't be able to see that. And of course, the podcast, I will be able to see it later. But if you know what the 10,000 hour rule is, can you please type in yes, I do. Yes, I know what that is. And if you don't, it is absolutely fine. Just type in no, I don't know what that is. What is that? Okay. Because I'm telling you guys, if you know what the 10,000 hour rule is, your life will completely change. And if you do it, congratulations to you. But if you don't, I'm telling you, it's time to figure it out. It's time to figure out what the 10,000 hour rule is, because we live in a world, guys, right? If you really want to achieve massive success, if you really want to contribute to the lives of many on a massive scale, if you really want to make a lot of money, and a lot of people say, Maham, why do you always talk about money? It's important. Think about it, right? Guys, you want to eat food, you need money. You want to clothe yourself, you need money. You want to go outside, you need money. Right? You want to feed your loved ones, you need money. You want to shelter your loved ones, you need money. You want to clothe your loved ones, you need money. Money is not everything, but it's very, very important. And in fact, I believe that it's up there with oxygen. Okay? You can agree with it or disagree with it. Now, let's go back to the question. What is the 10,000 hour rule? Right? This concept, when you guys grab it today, okay, is going to be a game changer. I promise you, and I'm not kidding when I say this, it's going to be a game changer. Here Iqra said, I want to learn about it as I don't know what it is, right? Just be genuinely be honest with yourself. This is me, guys, right? I'm a student of life. I'm a student of personal development. I'm a student, okay, of this thing we call our mind. So be a student, okay? Be a student of personal development. And ask yourself, what is the 10,000 hour rule? We live in a microwave society nowadays. People, noodles, microwave, right? Microwaves, microwave, what am I saying? Microwave thinking. People went from cooking food for an hour or so to now cooking it within 10 minutes. Toast. Oh, here's the butter, his cheese, done. We went from warming up the food for 10-15 minutes to microwaving it for a second. 2 seconds. Now, why am I saying this? The reason I'm saying this, guys, is we want everything to be quick nowadays. Oh, I must start something. I need results quick. I want to get married. I need kids quick. I want to get in business. I need to make money tomorrow. Like, I'm going to get started today, make a lot of money tomorrow, get rich the following day, retire my loved ones the following week. That's the world we live in nowadays, guys. And as much of an achiever as I believe that I am, as much of a dreamer that I believe I am, hey, at the end of the day, guys, I always back to being, being being reasonable, being realistic with myself. Hey, is this goal that I set for myself, is it achievable? If somebody else done it, of course I believe that I can as well. Right? But once you understand that, hey, nothing in my life is gonna work out overnight, and nothing in my life is gonna be get rich quick scheme. Not that, like, guys, do you realize you cannot develop some of the best relationships in your life over a month or two? You just can't. It's humanly, I hate the word impossible, but there are certain things that are not possible. Period. You can't say, hey man, I've known some guy for 2 months. He is like the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. No. No way. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my belief. That's my thought. Does that make sense, guys? So once you get rid of the whole concept of, oh, I need this quick, I need this fast, I need this urgently. Like, guys, when I was new to network marketing, I used to think like, my goodness, if I don't become successful in my first month, oh, I'm too late. Oh, is this even going to work? No, I need to be lucky. Oh, I need to sponsor that one guy that's going to blow it up for me. And then I realized it was amateurs that hope they're lucky. It's the babies, right? It's the posers that hope they will blow it up through one or two people. I realize amateurs don't even worry about that. They just focus on education and understanding. You want it? Great. You don't? No problem. Right? So let's talk about the 10,000 hour rule, guys. Right? If you don't know, I have here Outliers, okay, by Malcolm Gladwell. Let's talk about chapter 2, guys. Chapter 2 specifically talks about the 10,000 hour rule. And they use the Beatles as the first part of the chapter, and then they use Bill Gates. So let's talk about Bill Gates for specifically. I don't know, guys. I don't know what your thoughts are about this man, but me personally, I'm not a big fan of him outside of entrepreneurship. I have immense level of admiration and respect for the man when it comes to the world of business, what he's been able to do with Microsoft. I don't care about what his thoughts are on, or what he's messing about with the vaccine and how many people, he's done X, Y, Z, and how many kids. I respect the guy when it comes to business. Right? So let's talk about what Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers, chapter 2, second part, highlights and speaks about Bill Gates. So now let me read this to you guys, okay? Let's turn to the history of Bill Gates. His story is almost as well known as the Beatles. Brilliant young math wizard, discovers computer programming, drops out of Harvard, starts a little computer company called Microsoft with his friends. Through sheer brilliance and ambition and guts, build it into the giant of the software world. That's the broad outline. Let's dig a little deeper of what Microsoft is. Gates' father was a wealthy lawyer in Seattle, Washington, and his mother was the daughter of a well-to-do banker. As a child, Bill was easily bored by his studies. So his parents took him out of public school at the beginning of the 7th grade and sent him to Lakeside, a private school that was catered to Seattle's elite families. Midway through Gates' second year at Lakeside, the school started a computer club, the Mothers Club. At the school, did a remade sale every year. And there was always the question of what the money would go to. Gates remembered. Gates remembered. Some went to the summer program where inner city kids would come to the campus. Some of it would go to teachers. That year, put $3,000 into computer terminal down in this funny little room that we subsequently took control of. It was kind of an amazing thing. That's what Bill Gates is saying here. It was an amazing thing, of course, because this was in 1968. Most colleges didn't have computer clubs in the 1960s. Even more remarkable was the kind of computer Lakeside wrote. The school, of course, didn't have its students learning programming by the laborious computer card system like virtually everyone else was doing in the 1960s. Instead, Lakeside installed what was called ASR 33 Teletype, which was a time sharing terminal with a direct link to a mainframe computer in downtown Seattle. The whole idea of time sharing only got invented in the 1965. Gates continued. Someone was pretty forward looking. Okay? For him, there were early opportunities to learn programming on a timeshare system as a freshman in college in 1971. Bill Gates got to do real-time programming as an eighth grader in 1968. From that moment forward, Gates lived in the computer room. He and a number of others began to teach themselves how to use this strange new device. Buying time on the mainframe computer, the ASR was hooked up to, of course, expensive, even for a wealthy institution like Lakeside. Here is now a wealthy elite school even struggling to, of course, afford this machine. It wasn't long before the $3,000 put by the Mothers Club, of course, ran out. The parents raised more money, the students spent it. Then a group of programmers at the University of Washington formed an outfit called Computer Center Corporation, okay, CCC, or the CCABIT, which leased computer time to local companies. As luck would have it, one of the founders of the firm, Monique, had a son at Lakeside, a year ahead of Gates. So now at this stage, Gates in grade 8, and her son is in grade 9. Would the Lakeside Computer Club, Rona wondered, like to test out the company's software program on the weekends in exchange for free programming timing? Absolutely. After school, Gates took the bus to the CCABIT offices and programmed long into the evening. CCABIT eventually went bankrupt, so Gates and his friends began hanging around the computer center at the University of Washington. Before long, they latched onto an outfit called ISI, Information Science Inc., which agreed to let them have free computer time in exchange for working on a piece of software that could be used to automate company payrolls. Here's a group of kids, year 8 guys, working for free. Wow. In one 7-month period, in 1971, Gates and his cohorts ran up 1,575 hours of computer time on the ISI mainframe. Guys, that's 1,575 hours. And they're like, what, 10 years old? 11? God, man, I hope you guys are getting this. They're in year 8, and they're spending 1,575 hours computing, programming. It was, and then, look, guys, look at this, which averages out to 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is what Gates then says. It was my obsession. Gates says of his early high school years, I skipped athletics. I went there at night. We were programming on weekends. It will be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in. There was a period where Paul Allen and I got in trouble for stealing a bunch of passwords and crashing the system. We got kicked out. I didn't get to use the computer the whole summer, this 15 and 16. Then I found out Paul had found a computer that was free at the University of Washington. They had these machines in the medical center and the physics department. They were on a 24-hour schedule, but with this big slack period, so that between 3 and 6 in the morning. They never scheduled anything. Gates laughed. I would leave at night after my bedtime. I would walk up to the University of Washington from my house, or I'll take the bus. That's why I'm always so generous to the University of Washington, because they let me steal so much computer time. Years later, Gates' mother said, We always wondered, look at these guys, we always wondered why it was so hard for him to get up in the morning. Because, of course, during the night, the all night, he's programming, he's coding. One of the founders of ISI, Ben Brook, then got a call from the technology company TRW, which had just signed a contract to set up a computer system at the huge Pennyville power station in southern Washington state. TRW desperately needed programmers familiar with the particular software the power station used. In these early days of the computer revolution, programmers with that kind of specialized experience were hard to find. Ben Brook knew exactly whom to call. Those high school kids from Lakeside who had been running up thousands of hours of program time on the ISA mainframe. Gates was now in his senior year, and somehow he managed to convince his teachers to let him decamp for Bernaville under the guise of an independent study project. There he spent the spring writing code, supervised by a man named John Norton, who Gates says taught him as much about programming as almost anyone he'd ever met. Those first 5 years, from 8th grade through the end of high school, were Bill Gates' Hamburg, and by any measure, he was presented with an even more extraordinary series of opportunity than Bill Joy. Opportunity number, okay, guys, look at this. Opportunity number one was that Gates got sent to Lakeside. How many high schools in the world had access to a time-sharing terminal in 1968? Opportunity number two was that the mother of Lakeside had enough money to pay for the school's computer fees. Number three was that when that money ran out, guys, look at this. I hope you guys again, guys, this is crazy. When that money ran out, one of the parents happened to work at Seacabot, which happened to need someone to check its code on the weekends, and which also happened not to care if weekends turned into weeknights. Number four was that Gates just happened to find out about ISI, and ISI just happened to know that they needed someone to work on its payroll software. And number five was that Gates happened to live within walking distance of the University of Washington. And number six, guys, was that the university happened to have free computer time between 3 and 6 a.m. in the morning. And number seven, guys, if that wasn't enough, was that TRW happened to call Bud Bembrook. And number eight was that the best programmers Bembrook knew for that particular problem happened to be two high school kids. And number nine was that Lakeside was willing to let those kids spend their spring term miles away writing codes. And what did virtually all of these opportunities have in common? They gave Bill Gates extra time to practice. By the time Gates dropped out of Harvard after his sophomore year to try his hands at his own software company, he'd been programming specifically, particularly nonstop for 7 consecutive years. So here's a man now that's been programming for 7 consecutive years. He was way past 10,000 hours. How many teenagers in the world had that kind of experience? Gates had. If there were 50 in the world, look at this, I'd be stunned, he said. There was C-Cabot and the payroll stuff we did, then TRW, all those things came together. I had a better exposure to software development at a young age than I think any other period of time, and all because of an incredibly lucky series of events. Guys, this is crazy, right? So I'm gonna stop there. Now ask yourself, here's a man, right? Bill Gates. Guys, 8 to 10 different events had to happen, which allowed him to have just over 7 years consecutive practice, programming. Can you imagine how much he's been sharpening his axe every single day for what? 7 days a week, 12 months straight, for 7 years straight plus. And here we are. People try something new for a month or 2 or 3, and what do they say? Ah, too hard, can't make it happen. I have no skills, forget it. Too long, too complicated, too complex, too sophisticated. Really? Or is the truth really that you need 10,000 hours, but you just can't stand up? You just can't have posture. You just can't have faith. And faith is believing what you can't see, knowing that it's there. If you really ask yourself, if you have faith, you would know that, okay, if there is, guys, just look at this for a second. Just because there's cloud, does that mean there's no mountain? No, the mountain is there, just covered by cloud, right? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what the 10,000 hours rule is. Hey man, best example, guys, is in Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Go check out that book. Go check it out. Okay. And of course, at the first section of chapter 2, Malcolm Gladwell talks about the Beatles. And then the second part is, where he's talking about Bill Gates. So guys, get your hands on personal development. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Just to add up, a bit of value to you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Happy Monday. God bless you all. Take care and have an incredible remainder of the week, guys. All right. Take care, everybody.